it's extraordinarily destructive. And so I stand by my words. Her voice drips with the same falsehood that the voice of Kamala Harris drips with. I do believe that it is the case that it's very difficult to control female antisocial behavior, often of the type that's been pilloried as hysterical. And
this isn't just criticism, it's a diagnosis of a pattern no one wants to talk about.
This is when she was totally recreating Princess Diana's look. She's sick. She's sick, but
this wasn't tribute. It was imitation taken too far.
She hasn't been in the royal family in what, almost 10 years?
And this is the reality many still refuse to accept.
You were in the family for 6 weeks, okay? I have food that's been in my fridge longer than that. Meghan Markle, if you pay her $100,000, she will come have dinner with you. That is how desperate they are for cash. Like, listen, okay. This woman has fallen from grace.
I've been harping on about Meghan. Don't forget, Prince Harry also had a really stellar image, a public image, before he married Meghan and the truth came out about who he really is. Because he's really nasty. Only a nasty person would allow their wife to do this to their family and also her family consistently for no reason and make money out of it.
For a long time, Prince Harry was sheltered by the palace's public relations team, portrayed as the charming, vulnerable prince with a kind heart. Everything changed when Meghan joined his life. The carefully crafted image shattered. What followed wasn't a story of courage or truth, but rather one marked by hurt and animosity. This wasn't something pushed onto him, it was a deliberate decision to benefit from sharing personal grievances and to turn against the family that had supported him all along.
This is a woman who does not care about what happens to other people as long as she benefits.
That single sentence explains the entire pattern. Every friendship, every cause, every public stance seems to follow the same rule. Does it serve her? And once the benefit disappears, so does the loyalty, leaving behind a trail of discarded people and scorched relationships.
The backlash is too severe, and she gets into self-preservation mode, not thinking of her child, mind you. No. Meghan Markle, trust me, I've come across mothers like her way more than I would care to. And they don't care about the welfare of their children.
This is the moment in the story when things take a truly disturbing turn. As the tension builds, people don't always act out of kindness or care. Instead, a powerful urge to protect themselves takes hold. It's not the gentle pull of a mother's heart that guides their actions, but rather the fierce drive to survive. Their reputation becomes the main priority, and keeping a firm grip on the situation comes right after. Sadly, this means that everyone else, even the most vulnerable like children, ends up taking a back seat. The need to stay in control and shape the story outweighs compassion, leaving those who rely on them feeling lost and overlooked.
It's kind of hard for Meghan to say that the UK is a racist country when the leader of the UK is darker skinned than her and the mayor of London is darker skinned than her, and I am a person who's probably darker skinned than her, and I've never experienced any kind of bigotry against myself.
This is that familiar moment when bold claims meet the real world head-on. It's where true leadership, honest representation, and lived experience stand in clear contrast to accusations that just don't hold up. You can almost feel the tension as the argument begins to fall apart, piece by piece. Rather than taking a moment to reflect and reconsider, the response often just gets louder, filled with repeated statements instead of genuine proof or solid evidence. It's a pattern you may recognize from days gone by, reminding us of those times when real life quietly set the record straight, while the noise just kept echoing in the background.
I think that's probably inarguable. My issue with what they've both been doing is if you're going to make allegations against an institution like the royal family and the monarchy, you've got to actually provide some evidence. You can't just spray gun this thing out there and say, well, somebody was racist.
Yeah, and airing dirty laundry is never going to be respected by the populace, and being a tattletale is never going to be respected by the populace.
When credibility gently slips away, almost unnoticed. In times past, we understood that serious allegations require solid, indisputable evidence, not just subtle hints or emotional narratives. When the intimate concerns of a family become ammunition in the public sphere, something essential is lost. The empathy we may have once felt fades, and what began as an honest attempt to share truth transforms into a story tinged with personal vendettas and unresolved scores. Looking back, there's a sense of longing for an era when integrity and sincerity guided our conversations, reminding us that truth deserves both respect and responsibility.
They're very, very good at painting themselves as victims, and women being empathetic fall prey to that a lot from other women.
Victimhood can often serve as a protective barrier, and empathy, intended as a force for good, may be leveraged to reinforce this shield. In such environments, legitimate criticism might be recast as an act of cruelty, while calls for accountability risk being labeled as abuse. When these dynamics become entrenched within a community or discourse, it can create a social climate where even respectfully questioning the prevailing narrative is discouraged or even outright taboo. Nevertheless, understanding these patterns empowers us to foster more open discussions, encouraging a culture of constructive dialogue and critical thinking that ultimately advances our collective expertise and promotes healthier, more resilient communities.
I think a lot of women live in delusion, and they live in these narcissistic personality type delusions that they tell themselves.
At the heart of this ongoing story is something kinda heartbreaking. It's all fueled not by actual facts, but by people's own beliefs and the way they see things. It's sad because when someone's view of themselves completely takes over and pushes out real self-awareness, they end up always feeling like life's happening to them, not because of them. Instead of realizing they have a hand in what happens, they get stuck thinking they're just victims of whatever the world throws their way. And it's even more unfortunate because every time things go wrong, instead of looking inside and figuring out how they can grow or do better, they just start blaming everyone else. It's like they miss out on chances to improve because they keep pointing fingers. It's a cycle that just leaves you feeling stuck and helpless. And honestly, that's tough to watch. At the end of the day, narratives collapse when they're built on contradiction, deflection, and silence instead of truth. The public isn't confused anymore. They're watching patterns repeat, excuses recycle, and accountability get dodged in real time. And as the spotlight grows harsher, one thing becomes clear. You can't brand yourself as a victim forever when your own words keep telling a different story.